We are talking about playing, so playing in dog. Play fight is the most iconic form of social play and is often punctuated by specific signals. So there are signals that tell the other animals that they are actually playing, so that the fight that they are going to have is just a play fight. These signals are also called meta signals. This means that they give a specific meaning to what will come next. So, as us in humans, we know we are joking because maybe we are laughing, or we told something that make us understand that what will come next, even if we say something wrong, something bad, if we joke and we hit our partner joking, we know that we are not really fighting, but we are joking. So animals, mammals, and specific carnivores such as dogs and canids have a very complex social system. And having this social system mean also have a lot of communicative signals that allow them to interact and to coordinate this kind of interaction. Today we are here to discuss one scientific paper from Veronica Maglieri and her colleagues from the unit of ethology of the Department of Biology of the University of Pisa. This study was published on animal behavior in 2022 and is very interesting because it's the first evidence that the relaxed open mouth is a true signal in dogs. So this study from Veronica is the first one to prove that there is something more than the play bow signals. We all know the play bow. When a dog does a play bow, we know that he wants to play, but there are other signals that we can learn to recognize that indicates that dogs are going to play. And one of them is this relaxed open mouth. But now let's go and welcome Veronica online, and she will tell us more about this very interesting study.
So, hello, Giulia. Hello, everybody, and thank you, Giulia, for inviting me. My name is Veronica Maglieri, and I am a postdoc researcher at the ethology unit of the Department of Biology at the University of Pisa. I work in Professor Elisabetta Palagi's team, and my research focuses on communication and mimicry phenomena in various mammals, ranging from dogs to wolves and dolphin and humans. And although I currently dedicate most of my working time to primates, a significant part of my academic journey has been focused on dogs. And this interest began with my master thesis, where I studied dog-human communication and continued into my PhD project, in which I studied intraspecific communication between dogs and wolves during play.
What do you think? Why do you think dogs are worth to be studied? So our audience are mostly dog owners and dog trainers that maybe don't know what are the differences in studying domestic dogs and other maybe wild animals. So you are an expert in this. So can you tell us a little bit more about why to study domestic dogs?
So, well, domestic dogs is a very special animal for us because it is the first animals that have been domesticated, and through the domestication process, he diversified from wolves that today represent their wild ancestor. And well, dog is one of my favorite animals. I've always been fascinated by dogs since I was a child, and I wanted to understand how they communicate, both with us as humans and also with their conspecific. And I'm very happy to have been able to do so. And I think dogs, well, are very special animals because they live close to us. So the more we know about their behavior and their necessities, and the best is for them and also to us, for us.
Yes, they are very special, and is actually special and very complex because, as you said,
Yes.
they descend from wolves and they have a very, very complex system of communication that before was studied just from trainers, that they had theories based on experience, but now scientists they are going deeper and deeper into what is dog communication and what we can discover using actually scientific methods. So your research is a very, very good example of how we can study communicative signals and how we can understand what they actually mean. So, but to explain to our audience, so what is that you are talking about when you talk about ritualization process? So, what is a ritualization process and what does it mean for the communicative signals?
So in ethology, we define signal, a behavior or a sound or physical traits that animal uses to communicate information to others and to change the behavior of the receivers. Signals have evolved because, of course, they influence the behavior of the receiver in a way that benefit both the sender and the receiver. And to explain the complex evolution of signals, in 1952, Nico Tinbergen, one of the fathers of ethology, proposed this ritualisation theory, which implies that signal emerge from specific functional behaviors through the acquisition of highly stereotyped motor actions to better serve their new function. So in this process, some functional behavior, some so-called ordinary precursor behavior are taken out of their original context and transformed to attract the receiver attention. So they are transformed in something new and they become extraordinary derived behavior. And an example of a signal that we can find in our species is the smile or the play face of other animals. And although there was a general consensus that the play face of dogs called relaxed open mouth is the ritualized version of play biting, the empirical evidence demonstrating the actual ritualization of the relaxed open mouth was still lacking. And that's why we decided to quantitatively investigate both relaxed open mouth and play bite to understand if they were actually different.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So, for you, what are the most innovative findings of your study? So, what was really new that we already talked a little bit about that, but I will let you speak about this.
Well, this was the first study that investigate the relaxed open mouth facial expression using the dog facial action coding system. That is a tool that gives associate a specific code called action unit to some changes in the face appearance of a dog. And well, we quantitatively codified the action unit that were involved during relax open mouth and during play bite. And then we test if they were actually different. And we recorded more than 900 relax open mouth. But unfortunately, due to video quality and to full ball, everything, because when dogs are playing, they are very fast.
It's a mess.
Yes, we were able to codify only 59 relax open mouth, but they were enough for our study. And our result aligned perfectly with Tinbergen's theory of ritualization, because during the relax open mouth, a higher number of action units were involved. And this demonstrates that the signal is very conspicuous and exaggerated compared to the simple play biting action. And well, moreover, we also found that this signal was emitted by animals just before a potentially ambiguous action, such as a bite or a push, suggesting that it serves to clarify the sender's non-aggressive intention, just like our smile. So, as a result, play session with more relaxed open mouth facial expressions were also the most balanced, with neither player tending to dominate the other.
So fantastic. So it was innovative both from the methodology but also
Yeah.
from the findings before because we were always talking and thinking about the play bow that was a signal that
Yeah.
was studied, but it's much more. So now we have the instruments with the DogFACS, video recording, and all these like sequential analysis, all these complex statistical methods that allow us to understand also more subtle signals in dogs.
And
And
well, of course,
you,
they shed light on the incredible communicative abilities of dogs,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And you tested Czechoslovakian wolf dogs, so that could be interesting. And so we ask you, why did you choose this breed as a sample size? And whether do you think that these results can also be generalized to other types of dogs?
Well, in our study, we choose to study Czechoslovakian wolf dogs because they are, well, one of the breed that is more close to wolves from a genetically point of view. And we wanted to reduce at minimum the possible effect of human artificial selection. So we choose a breed that was, well, as much as possible close to the wild ancestor. However, since the relaxed open mouth is a highly conserved expression, I expect to find it in all dogs breed. In fact, it has already been observed in other studies involving mixed group of various breeds and has also been documented in wolves. So, since signals are selected by natural selection, I expect to find them in all dogs because it serves a very special function. So, I think this is a conserved traits. But the fact that wolves show also this facial expression suggests that this behavior could be deeply rooted in the evolutionary lineage of the species. And future studies might even discover the relaxed open mouth in other canids, just as it has already been observed in other carnivores, such as hyenas, meerkats, and some bears. But as it also has been anecdotally reported also in coyotes and foxes by back of yes
Yeah.
and fox.
I
Yeah,
remember the famous book about Beckhoff and also Fox with these foxes with
yeah.
real open mouth. But I don't know. I maybe I recall wrong, but maybe in foxes there is also a similar expression that means threat and aggression or something like
Well,
that.
it's tricky because some of these facial expressions were most of them, so facial expressions that are actually signals, are context dependent. For example, in captive wolves, we found that they had two different relaxed open mouth than that they used during playful interaction, but they never showed this facial expression during, for example, aggressive encounters. While some facial expression that is typical of aggressive encounters sometimes could be emitted also during play when play, well, is a little bit too rough. So
Mhm.
in foxes, who know?
Yes.
We should codify their facial expression with fox, of course, and it would be so interesting because they
Yes,
also communicate a
definitely.
lot with the sounds and vocalization. So, well, they are
Yeah.
incredible.
Fantastic. So, you already pointed out that context is the key, and we know that our audience are dog owners and dog trainers, and even when we are interpreting dog behavior, we always need to be careful. There is not one-to-one rule to apply, but we need to interpret to know our dog, the context he's in, and what he could actually feel. But from your study, if you could summarize what are the potential practical application of your research, what would you tell to our audience?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to say that our work as ethologists is different from the dog trainer and so on, but because we have videos, so we could stop or slow down videos and watch them frame by frame in order to catch every single subtle behavior. And of course, when you are live and you are interacting with dogs, maybe you cannot catch everything. So it's very well, they are two different works, of course, but both of them are very important. It depends on the question do you have. But I think that, well, also for dog trainers, being able to recognize the relaxed open mouth, that is a very clearly recognizable facial expression, and understand its role during play could be useful because they can better interpret and guide playful behavior in dogs. And recognizing these signals can help trainers identify when a dog is signaling, for example, non-aggressive intention, and preventing misunderstanding that could lead to aggression or fear-based behavior. But maybe the findings of our study could also help pet owners, for example, to better understand their dogs and their dogs' communication, allowing them to respond to play signals and strengthening their bond between them and their dog, because smiling, so play face, mimicry phenomena are also all of them are behavior and mechanism that evolve to strengthen and to promote social bonds. So it's very important. And well, I think that the next step could be comparing the ritualization of signal across different dog breeds, because maybe they emit different dogs because we selected them. Well, as a byproduct, we could also have selected the relaxed open mouth, or maybe also in other canids, even carnivores, to have a comparative view. And well, in this way, such studies could offer insights into the evolutionary development of communication signal in mammals.
Yes, and this is very, very, very interesting. So thank you very much, Veronica. You have
Thank you,
a
Julia.
lot of more work and papers, fantastic papers out. So probably we will see you again on
Oh,
the
I hope so.
science platform to tell us more about play, maybe also in a comparative perspective. But by now, we thank you a lot and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julia, and see you soon.